Welcome back to you all at the beginning of our spring term. I hope you had a really good Christmas, even if it was a little different maybe than you'd anticipated. I know that for many of you, your plans for seeing family and friends will have changed. For some of my friends, they were affected by floods and certainly weren't expecting that. So, whatever happened at Christmas, I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope that you kept safe. As we start this term, things are quite uncertain. I'm recording this a few days before the beginning of term, and I'm not even quite sure whether you will be in school or whether you'll be learning at home because the government haven't made that decision yet. But even though it's uncertain, even though we don't really know what's going on, the one thing that we can be certain of is that God, His light, and His love will be with us every step of the way. Just before we say our liturgy, I wanted to share a poem that was written by somebody called Minnie Haskins. She wrote it in 1908, a long time ago, over 100 years ago. But it was something that was quoted at in the Christmas speech by King George VI. And it was 1939, just as the country were facing a real time of uncertainty at the beginning of the World War II. Nobody knew what was going to go on, and people were very scared. And this is what he said. I said to the man who stood at the gate of the year, "Give me a light that I may tread safely into the unknown." And he replied, "Go into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. That shall be to you better than light and safer than a known way." And so as we go into this new year, we go in knowing that God has sent his light in the baby Jesus this Christmas, and that light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So we say together, in the beginning, when God created all things, he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Let your light shine. God is light, and in him there is no darkness. Let your light shine. Jesus said, "I am the light of the world. Let your light shine." Well, my assembly this week is talent takes practice, and that's something that other teachers will be sharing with you in the next few days. Talent takes practice. I wonder what your talent is. If you were asked, maybe we had a talent show, I wonder what you would do in that talent show. I know you all love performing, and some of you would play musical instruments, some of you would do some gymnastics, some might sing. Talents are very varied. Let's just have a little look at the next slide to see some of the possibilities. We've got art here. Somebody seems very clever. We've got a light bulb moment here. Is little boy reading, little girl on her computer, little boy writing here, somebody playing the violin, somebody gardening. Got a couple of people here with basketball and football, little scientists, somebody who's cooking, swimming, doing ballet, using a camera that's much bigger almost than he is. So many different things on that page, in that picture, that might be your talent. But I've put a plus ... here because your talent might not be there. I've just started playing chess again. I haven't played chess since I played with my dad when I was about 12 years old, so that's a long time ago. But my son has become really keen on chess, and he's introduced me to a chess app. And so over Christmas, Well, he's been in America and I've been in England. We've been playing chess together, and he's the sort of person that will really practice. And he's been on the app and he's been practicing certain moves, and he's very skilled. I'm a little bit more hit and miss, and I'm afraid he's taken my queen a few times, which is a bit devastating when you're trying to win a game. But I guess if I practiced a bit more, I might get better. And that's the case with all our talents. But some talents aren't the sort of talents that you would practice like a musical instrument or a sport. Some people are really talented at listening. Some people are really talented at just being there and caring, being a good friend. It comes naturally. But even those things that come naturally, we still need to practice. We still need to put them into practice. Otherwise, we can lose them. If we don't practice something regularly, we can just lose it. I want to share with you in a minute a parable of the talents that Jesus taught. And we'll think a little bit more about what you can do with the talents you've been given. Just before we listen to this recording of the parable of the talents, it's worth thinking a little bit about what talents were in Jesus' day. They were actually money. And we'll see that in this little recording, Jesus is talking about money that he's given to somebody and what they did with it, rather than a talent of playing football or music. But the principle is the same, that we need to do something with our talent, not just accept it. Because if we just accept it and don't do anything, then not only do we not benefit, but also our community, those around us, they don't benefit either, because they will enjoy the talent that we have. parable of the talents, Jesus was talking about a master who gave his servants different amounts of money. They were expected to go and to make more. And they would ultimately benefit from the money that they made. Two of the servants did just that, and one invested in a vineyard, or made his own vineyard, in fact, and his own wine, and was selling that. The other one looked like he was making bread, or not quite sure what he was selling, but he was selling bread, or maybe they were baskets. I couldn't quite tell from the picture. But he also made money, and so when the master came back, they were able to show that they had doubled the money that he had invested in them. But the third servant, he just carried on with his life. He hid his money. Don't know why. Maybe he thought it would be stolen, or maybe he just couldn't be bothered to do anything with it. Maybe he thought he might lose it, but he hid it. And then when the master came back, he was angry with the servant and took that money off him. Although the parable does talk about money, actually it also makes us think about what we do with the things that we have been given. Talents tend to be defined as things that we have naturally, things that we're good at naturally. But as I've already said, unless we practice using them, then nobody benefits from them. Practicing something over and over again is the only way that we will get good at, or very good at, something. Sometimes it's because we know that we're good at something that we don't bother practicing it. We don't think we need to, but then imagine how good you could be if you really did practice something that you're already good at and got better at that. There's a saying, practice makes perfect. I don't think I agree with that one. I think practice makes progress, not perfect. And that's part of our growth mindset, isn't it? That we try and maybe we fail, and we try again and we fail, and we keep trying, and then eventually we win. Eventually we do something that we really wanted to achieve. We've persevered, we've been resilient, and we've managed to do something. As we start this new year, many people will have made New Year's resolutions, maybe deciding to take up a new hobby or quit a bad habit. I want to challenge you to practice what you are already good at and become great at what you're good at. This year, you could make that decision to practice what you're already good at, or maybe practice something that you've been given this Christmas, so you get really good at it. Let's just pause for a minute and reflect. What are you really good at? Remember, don't look at somebody else and what they're good at. We're not all good at the same things, and you may have something that no one knows you're good at. Could be magic, could be card tricks. If you practice and become really good, think of how you can share that with your friends. And maybe you have a friend who is naturally good at something. Have you ever thought of telling them that? Let's just bow our heads and pray together. Dear God, we're thankful for the variety of gifts and talents in this school. We're thankful for the talents that we already have, whether we know about them now or we'll get to know about them in the future. Help us to use and to grow our talents for the benefit of ourselves and of our community. Amen. Now we come to our Child of the Week Assembly, and we're thinking about those who have caught the eye of your teachers in the last week of term. And so we begin in year 1, and Miss Berman wants to say congratulations to Theo. And also in year 1 from Miss Marston, a big well done to Evelyn. In year 2, Miss Franklin wants to say well done to Emily. Emily, I think you're new to our school, so well done you. And also another child who's new, to Tyler. A well done from Miss Thomas and Mrs. Walker. In year 3, we congratulate Elise in Miss Jake's and Mrs. Paul's class, and Luna in Miss Croft's class. We've gone into year 4. Miss Lefebvre says a big well done to Joshua, and Mr. Wright wants to say well done to Rosie. In year 5, we've got 2 people in Mrs. O'Donoghue's class. That's Daniel, also another new child in Winslow, and Freya. So well done, both of you. And Mr. Boyer wants to say thank you and a big well done to Remini. Finally, in year 6, we've got congratulations from Mrs. Epsom Greenhill to Alex, and from Mr. Nile to Lily Rose, another new child in Winslow. We've had so many new children join us this year. Oh, it's so lovely to have you. Thank you for shining lights in our school. And so we come to the end of our assembly and we say together, go in the light and peace of Jesus. In the name of Christ. Amen.